And what's going on, y'all? Carlito here, back with another video on your screen. I've been today we have a legend on the channel, Stitch, one of the best cutmans to ever do it. And he's been around. Every time you see Top Rank, he's always on the screen. And it's always one more round. And thank you for coming on today, sir.
Of course, man. You woke me up. Sundays I sleep. But
Yeah.
when company calls, I gotta answer the door, bro. So it's a pleasure having you.
Thank you. Thank you. And let's talk about it. Like, let's take it way back. I know there's been movies on you for your cutman skills and how you started. But let my subscribers know, you know, um, how did you get started into the business?
Well, yeah, well, before I was a cut man, I was a trainer in kickboxing. And so yeah, and I grew up in the Central Valley of California. Grew up as a farm worker, picking tomatoes, peaches, cotton, apricots, nectarines, almonds, figs, walnuts. Bro, if you ate it, I picked it. That's what I did all my life, right? And so in 1972, I joined the Air Force just to get out of Panada. And in 1974, they stationed me in Thailand. And there I studied the martial arts, the Muay Thai system. Started off with Taekwondo and then Muay Thai. And then got back to the States and got into boxing and kind of improved my hands and started working with amateur fighters and then I opened up a school of kickboxing and I had world class fighters and so I was a trainer like I said before and I promoted some kickboxing shows and I managed the fighters so I did the whole gambit but I had to learn to be a cut man and at that time it was only boxing and these old veteranos wouldn't show you what they thought were their tricks, and one guy just told me to fuck off. So I said, I'm never gonna be like this man. I asked him, that I wanted to never be a cut man if he told me what he did. And he said, no, fuck you. I'm taking this to my grave and you gotta learn like me. And he took off.
Wow.
And yeah. So I said, I'm never gonna be like that guy. So my job is to teach and I've been fortunate enough to work with many, 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 many great fighters, and I've been privileged to do what I do. And but I'm still that little Chicano that grew up as a farm worker, so I never forget where I come from.
Amen. Amen. So from the beginning of, being involved in your first match, of being a cut man and being in the corner up until now, what has been your fondest moment that like you'll always remember?
Man, I got tons of them, bro. I got it. So many. There's so many memories that I have that are unbelievable that I just kind of look and I question myself as why me, and like when I did the Creed movie, I had done Balboa. So I worked with Sylvester Stallone when he did his last fight, right? But I was in the other corner with Antonio Tarver, but I still got to work with Sylvester Stallone. And
Mhm.
when I did the first Creed movie, I'm in Philadelphia filming for 6 weeks. And we're on break and I'm talking to Sylvester Stallone. And I said, man, I can't believe I'm here with you. Well, what's up? He says, well, here, I'm staying here 6 weeks with you, Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler, Tessa Thompson, and he put his arm on me and said, "Hey, man, you're here because you earned it." And I thought, wow, coming from him, it's a highly respected comment. So yeah, I've been blessed, man. I've been too many great, great events that have happened in my career and my life, and it just keeps blowing my mind.
Amen. And I bring it back to a discussion that me and Shane Mosley Jr. had last year. He was saying that, Stitch got in the corner right after our fight at the Alamo Dome and said, "Hey, I beat him twice," to his opponent. And since, he was in the Creed movie, his
Mhm.
opponent, and he was like, "Oh yeah, he said I beat him twice." And I'm like, man, that's crazy to think like how far you've come, and it's an inspiration to, to the young talent now to know that there is, a big light, at the end of that tunnel, that road that you're on, that you're able to be a part of so many different events and so many movies. And working with Sylvester Stallone, um which movie out of all the movies, which one did you like the most?
Man, I like them all, but I'll give you a little behind the scenes story. The first Creed movie, when I get the script, my name is Marcel. I don't know anybody named Marcel, right? And so I'm gonna have to try to figure it out. But when it was time for Rocky to introduce us to Adonis, then Sylvester Stallone at that point says, "This is Stitch, the best cut man in Philadelphia." So he used my name right off the bat, and of course, I got all excited. And during break, I went and thanked him. He says, "No," he goes, "It has to be authentic," you know. So that's how Stitch became Stitch in the Creed movies, and even during in the I guess the second one when Rocky got sick, and him and Mike were training in the gym, and we had just left, right? And in the movie, we had just left, so it was just Creed and Rocky, and Rocky throws up, and Creed picks him up, and he's walking with him, and he yells out, "Stitch!" And we're in Philadelphia, and we're in the second floor because that's where the gym's at, and so we're on the stairs because it's snowing outside, and I hear Stitch, and I kind of move, and I said, "No, maybe that's part of the movie." And it's not. It wasn't part of the movie. But the next day, I'm wrapping Michael B. Jordan's hands. I always spent every day with him, just like you and I are talking. And I
Mhm.
said, I said, let me tell you about that one point right there, Stitch. It gave me chills, and I'll tell you why. Because that in a game of me being a cut man, I had just left, and that my job is to protect you, the fighter. So as soon as I left, Rocky got sick, and the first one you thought about was me, and you yelled out Stitch. Well, that stayed in the movie, which I thought was a pretty powerful line.
Yeah.
So he kept it, So,
Oh,
but yeah, they're all great, man. When I got the call to do Balboa, I turned it down. I'm right here, the same spot I was negotiating with. Joe Cortez called me, the referee, and I told him no, I can't do it because I have to. I had a big world title fight in Paris, France, and then I had another big fight in England after that. And I was thinking economics, right? So I
mhm.
called my wife at work, and she says, "Are you crazy?" He says, "Rocky's an American icon. You have to do it." So I called him back, and that became, part of the Balboa franchise. And I tell people, how many guys have done 3 movies with Rocky? 3 movies with Michael B. Jordan. I have. So
Yep.
I've been blessed, but I'm just saying I'm always that little Chicano growing up as a farm worker, and I always try to inspire everybody else. That if I could do it, anybody could do it.
Amen. And it's just like a whirlwind right now. To hearing you speak and stuff like that, to being on my channel, it's a blessing. And I know there's a few cut man and few corner man here in San Antonio. You know, both of them have been a sponsor of my channel. Augie.
Yeah, sure. I
Uh,
taught Augie. Well,
yeah,
I helped Augie.
yeah,
The kid.
yeah. Augie talked so much good stuff about you, and he was super excited to even get to meet you. That I think it was I want to say, I could be wrong, but I want to say it was a couple years ago. Um, and he uses your tape, and I see your tape every time I see him. And talk about that. Talk about how does it feel to have your own tape, to wrap the hands.
Well, marketing is important in any business, right? Good question. And but I've always been a marketing savant. I worked for RJ Reynolds Tobacco Company, the company that made Winston Salem's, Camels, and I worked with them for 23 years. So I understood the purpose of marketing, how to get products out there and all that. But I always wanted the best of the best anyway. And so I created my own line of tape, Stitch Premium, and like the war tape. I say now, the original owners, I helped them out. The guy, I was doing a UFC in Sacramento, and the guy says, "Hey man, we have this tape that we created. Can you check it out? Give us your opinion." And so I did. I gave him some pointers and all that. And so the original owner, his partner burned him, and I said, "Nah, man, I'm not going to help him out. I'll create my own." So as I say in the business, I showed them everything they know, but not everything I know. So I made mine water repellent, added a little bit more glue, and of course it has my name on it. And so I created that. I created the KO swell and the the end swell. If you see guys using the end swell and they're doing this, they're doing it all wrong. It should be cold direct pressure. And so I created one that's curved on one side for this, and then one that's flat for the other areas, and then the wrist wrap. So yeah, and I'll tell you the story. Canelo uses my tape. A lot of the young amateurs are using my tape, and you know, I used it in the Creed movie, so it's moving it on up. But it's I was telling guys last night, I was at some fights. I said I could sell it in so many different areas, but I only sell it at Cutman for higher supplies because through a dream, I was busy. I was traveling all the time. So if you order tape from me, I wouldn't get it to you till I got back, which would be that following Monday. And so through a dream, Juan Ramirez from San Diego had just created Cutman for higher supplies. And it's Cutman and then the number 4 supplies. So I called him. I said, hey, Juan, would you mind carrying my tape? I'm busy and all that, and I'll help you through your promotions and all that. So of course he agreed big time. So I helped Juan out, and it's but I was telling Canelo Eddie Reynosa the story how I'm here not to make money. It's a lot of times not about making money, Carlos. It's about helping people, right? And I said, so let me concentrate on making Juan's business. But he carries everything for a trainer and Cutman like us. He carries everything. He's the best of the best, and he does a good job. So that's how that story came to be. But with Augie, I was I was with a friend of mine, and of course Augie wanted to meet me, right? And so we met, and then we went to his training facility for the university, and there I wrapped his hands and showed him my technique, and he followed up and all that. And then when Ugas fought Earl Spence, he was in the corner with Earl Spence, so he got a victory over me. So good for him. But that's and the reason I spent so much time with him is because he showed one thing that you have to have, which is passion. I mean, you have passion for your radio show. That's why you're making these calls. But you got to have passion, and if you do it for the money, you do it for the wrong reasons. And he's still learning, but he's progressing.
Man, yeah, he's been really a big inspiration to this channel too, and even though he's younger than me, but like he's accomplished so much.
Yeah.
And he's been, on big pay-per-view shows and cards like you. And it's always great to see you at Top Rank. And I was looking out for you in Rosenberg, Texas last year, but I didn't get a chance to. I don't think you were there for that one, but I know Top Rank has been really good to me lately.
Yeah.
I've been part of the media for Rosenberg, Texas. I'm going to be part of the Corpus Christi one on Saturday,
Yep.
and it's great. It's great, and this is all the journey started with watching you, and on Top Rank, and it really helped me out a lot. And
Yeah. And congrats. And I'll see you in Corpus Christi. Actually, I'll be there Thursday, and so we'll do the fight Friday, and then come home Saturday. It's like a circus. But and one of the things I was going to mention to you, and you just kind of mentioned it for yourself, is I was telling these young guys that one line that we're scared to cross. If you never cross it, you never get there. And you did, and where you're at now. But Top Rank is they're a top promoter, man. And for me, I was doing the bare knuckle fights before COVID.
yeah,
And it was great. I loved working them, right? And then COVID kicked in, and then Top Rank. I live 20 minutes here from the MGM, and Top Rank, their office is here in Las Vegas also. So they call me and says, "Look, we're going to do 16 shows in the bubble, 2 a week on ESPN. And they can only bring a trainer. Would you be interested in being what they call a house cutman?" And of course, so I did those 16 shows with Mike Basil, the other cutman. And they liked it so much that they kept us, but in Corpus Christi, Top Rank will pay for us, and they do good with us. But I'll be working the main, actually 4 fights for sure, with Anderson. The 4 main, Efe, Agabe, Hobson, Konechiao, and Mason Abdullah, and Jared Anderson, the main event for sure. But there'll probably be others. But yeah, it's fun, man. It's a pleasant. And if I'm not doing a Top Rank show, it's because I'm doing another event somewhere else.
in fact, I've seen you all over, and I'm like, oh damn, there's Stitch right there.
Yeah, how do you do that?
I was
Yeah,
like,
last week I was I did a Friday show in Phoenix, and then Saturday I did the show here. So I came right back and went straight to the airport. From the airport straight to the arena.
Wow. Wow. These are goals. When people say that's goals, this is goals for sure. And I always like to look at little parts in the movies, to bring the Creed back in. Um, when you tapped Adonis's neck, Michael B. Jordan, 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4. Was that part of the script, or was that just like something you threw in?
Oh, right, right. Good point. Good question. Nobody's ever asked that question before, right? But Ryan Coogler comes up to me and says, "What do you think?" I said, "It's a great fucking idea." It's like Rocky, the cut me Mick, right?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a story on that one too. So we did it, and you know, and when we're watching the movie for the premiere with Arnold Schwarzenegger, all these actors were in Hollywood watching it on the theater for the first time, and when that happened, everybody started clapping. So it was a success, right? But regarding that cut me Mick, I told Sylvester Stallone, I said, man, you know how many times I had to dispel that myth that that's not what you do. Just like this, you wouldn't do this in boxing either, because once a guy's eye is completely closed, the referee's not going to let it go out. The doctor's not, and surely I wouldn't, right? So that's a myth, but it was great for Hollywood. And the same thing with the cut me Mick, because number one, I'm not a surgeon, so I'd be cutting you with a razor blade, and number two, now you're going to have double. Now you're going to have double problems, because not only swelling, but you're going to have blood going into the eyes, and then it's filthy and it's dirty. So those are all Hollywood myths. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I was just curious because it was just like a one of the parts that I always remember in the movie. And to see that boom 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 boom.
Yeah,
And my wife even asked me back then, she was like, "Can they do that?" And I was like, "Nah." I was like,
yeah,
"No, I don't think they would even be able to get that far into like, oh, how many figures I'm holding up, you know?"
right. Yeah,
Uh,
no, you're right. Yeah, it wouldn't
but I was
happen.
like, that's an iconic moment. I always told her about y'all and about you, and I'm like, that's Stitch. That's one of the best Cutmans, that I ever watched on TV. And now he's on the big screen. I'm
Yeah.
very proud.
Give Ryan Coogler credit for that. That was that was the director. He's the one that wrote and directed it. Yeah, give him credit for that, for bringing that up. But yeah, I tell you, people, there everybody's clapping, yay! So that was a rocky moment for Creed for the most part, right? Which was
Yep.
great. Yeah, which is great.
So they were kind of, I guess they're going back and forth on, they don't know if there's going to be a part 4. Do
Oh,
you know
there will.
there will be?
Yeah, I saw Michael here in Las Vegas when Shakir Stevens, Shakir Stevens, yeah. Well, anyway, he was in the audience, so I sat down. I talked to Michael for a while, and I asked him about Creed 4, and yeah, they're working on it now. So they're doing the script and locations and everything that goes with the fundamentals of the film. But he says a couple years, and so the daughter, they're going to highlight her, and then also there's supposed to be a spinoff with Drago. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes, because it'll be the young Drago and his father, and so their life story. So you get to hear the story of, and it's never been told, of the Russian side of boxing, but they're all, they're all father sons, and those characters were all the same, but the mentality in Russia is different than the mentality here in the States.
That's facts. That's
Yeah.
facts, I'm pretty sure. And through all your whole career, I know you said that you've had memorable, so many memorable moments. Um, and I always, I'm a big believer in, the next one. Like the great, Tom Brady always says, they always ask him, okay, what ring is your favorite? The next one.
Yeah.
Someone asks you that today, you know, um, greatest moment of your career up until now, is it always the next one?
Well, I had a lot of great moments, but I'll tell you what's happening now is they're filming a documentary on my life, right? Well, I wrote a book called, when I was with the UFC, From the Fields to the Garden. because the fields were me being a farm worker, which I'm extremely proud of, right? And the garden was my goal to make it to Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
So that's the detail of the book, and it became very successful. And it's available at Amazon.com. So anyway, the documentary is named the same thing, and we're going to finish filming April the 28th when I get inducted into the National Boxing Hall of Fame. So that'll be our first, but that's when we finish it up. And then Michael B. Jordan's people, the Creed people, the producers and all that, they're going to help us take it up to the high levels so that, hopefully we could put it up there. So that's happening right now. And I'm endorsing a cream for cuts, the healing process of cuts. Once you get cut, you get sewn up or you have surgery and all that, and it expedites the healing process. And, I got a cannabis line coming out in November here in Nevada, and tie stitch. And so I got all those things that are happening. And of course, continue fighting. I'm working with my man, Nate Diaz, when he fights Jorge Masvidal. And
Yeah.
that should be fun. So, the cycle keeps going, bro. It just, I look at opportunities come to me, and to this day, I'm just, a proud Chicano. I can't kiss nobody's butt. I've never asked for one job. Everything that's been presented to me, I've made decisions on whether I want to do it, and then how do I want to do it, and how do I maximize it. So yeah, it's no telling what the future brings, but I'm looking forward to it. Good question though.
Damn. It's like I always say, and I think I've said this so many times now, but it's an honor to have you on the channel. And it's just it's gonna be a memorable moment for me, and it's a really good feeling. And to see, your documentary is gonna be coming out soon. Um, Everyone out there, y'all need to go follow Stitch, follow the journey, go catch that documentary when it comes out. Go to Amazon, you know, purchase, and just keep following his journey and, you know, go watch the Creed movies. I know it's WrestleMania tonight for wrestling fans, but go binge watch the Creed movies for real. And if you can say one thing to the young subscribers out there, or to even the people that want to get involved in the sport of boxing, what's one word that you can describe to them?
Passion. You got to have passion for it. Nothing but, you got to have the ganas, I mean, even as a fighter, how many times, you got to get up early in the morning, go do your world work. And, how many times you get beat up and you got to come back, and you got to have a passion for what you do, and, and love it. Don't ever do it for the money. Let the money come through your success, through your performance. And that's it. It's pretty simple structure in life, right? And yeah, you're gonna get your yings and your yang, your ups and downs, your lefts and rights, your opposites and negatives, and that's part of life. It's open and close. So just keep
Amen.
doing it.
Amen. Let everyone know where they can follow you at and to follow the journey.
At Stitch Duran, I always try to respond to people. I'm not that guy that shine you on or anything like that, and because I know little things like that make a big difference. Like you're talking about Shane Mosley, and what he meant in that department was psychologically, I had that guy beat just having Stitch in my corner. And I've had I had a guy that did that. He came up to me and said, "Man, when I saw you in the corner, I knew we were going to lose." And so that's always a good thing.
Amen. And also, big shout out to all my subscribers. Big shout out to all my sponsors as well. And I gotta say a good shout out, to Christopher Diaz, the cut man of Kid Austin. And big fights are coming with Kid Austin. And look out for them. And to all my sponsors, they keep this journey going and keep this story alive. And for me and my family, it's a complete honor. And big shout out to you, Stitch. Thank you for coming on the channel. And it's a complete honor, and much respect to you and your team and your family. And y'all go catch them live. Top Rank this coming weekend. Gerald Anderson, Big Baby. The main event, and it's gonna be a crazy ride. Thank you for coming on the channel.
I appreciate it, man. I'll see you in Corpus Christi, huh? You know,
Amen.
for the first time I went there, I've always liked Texas football, and sure enough, man, they invited me to a football game. But I get there and there's like 3 or 4 different stadiums all within the same area, and they all got their lights on. So that was Texas football, man. So I'm looking forward to going back and especially there, people always mistake me for James Olmos, Selena,
Oh,
especially the raza, right? And so. Yeah, it was a privilege, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, and continued success with your show and do it anytime, man. All right.
yeah, you, sir. And I'll see you in Corpus Christi. It's been Stitch, Carlito, one love. We out.
All right. Thanks.